What if one of the biggest debates in philosophy wasn't really about money, success, or happiness, but about one simple question: how do you know what's right? And here's why this matters. More than 500 years ago, a Chinese philosopher named Wang Yangming developed an idea that creates a fascinating contrast with the philosophy of Immanuel Kant. They never met, and Wang Yangming obviously wasn't responding to Kant directly, but their ideas can be placed side by side in a way that makes you rethink how you make decisions today. Kant put reason and universal moral principles at the center of morality. Wang Yangming asked us to look inward, to the moral awareness already inside the human mind. And honestly, this isn't some dusty philosophy debate. You deal with this every single day. Picture this. You're in a group chat, and someone starts getting roasted. Everyone's laughing. Then somebody sends a screenshot that crosses the line. You know it's messed up, but you also know that if you say something, suddenly you're the boring one. So you stare at the screen thinking, do I say something, or just let it slide? That's the exact kind of moment where philosophy stops being something you study and becomes something you live. Wang Yangming was born in 1472 in China during the Ming Dynasty. He became a philosopher, government official, military commander, and teacher. But what made his philosophy so powerful was his belief that moral knowledge isn't just something you memorize. It's something you have to live. He called this the unity of knowledge and action. Think about how often we already know what we should do. You know you should probably stop doom scrolling at 1:30 in the morning. You know that assignment isn't gonna magically finish itself. You know you should apologize after saying something you didn't mean. You know that friend you've been chasing hasn't been giving the same energy back. The information isn't the problem. You already know. The problem is acting on it. And that's where Wang Yangming gets brutally practical. Imagine you decide you're gonna start working out. Day 1, you're hyped. New shoes, new playlist. Maybe you even buy the expensive water bottle because, obviously, that's the missing ingredient. But 2 weeks later, the motivation disappears. You still know exercise is good for you. Nothing changed about the knowledge. What changed was your willingness to act. Wang Yangming would argue that knowledge separated from action is incomplete. You haven't fully learned something until it changes how you behave. Now bring Kant into the picture. Kant believed morality shouldn't depend simply on your feelings, or whatever seems convenient in the moment. He argued that moral decisions should follow rational principles that could apply universally. In simple terms, don't create a rule for yourself that you'd reject if everyone else followed it. Wang Yangming takes a different route. He believed humans possess an innate moral awareness, a kind of inner recognition of right and wrong, but that this awareness becomes meaningful through self-cultivation and action. So imagine you're taking an exam, and notice your friend has the answers open on their phone. Nobody else sees it. Your friend whispers, "Just look. It's one question." Your brain immediately starts negotiating. It's not really cheating. Everyone does it. It's just one answer. But another part of you already knows. That's where the two philosophies become interesting. Kant might ask, could I honestly accept a world where everyone cheated whenever it benefited them? Wang Yangming might ask, why am I ignoring what I already know is wrong? Different routes, same uncomfortable destination. You have to take responsibility for your choice. And here's where this gets seriously relevant to your life. We're living in a time when information is ridiculously easy to access. You can learn almost anything in seconds. Want to become disciplined? There are thousands of videos. Want to communicate better? Books, podcasts, courses, everything. Want to get your life together? There's an entire internet waiting to tell you how. Yet knowing more doesn't automatically make us better. You can know exactly what you're doing wrong and still keep doing it. That's why Wang Yangming's philosophy hits differently today. Maybe your problem isn't that you need another motivational video. Maybe you already know what needs to change. You just haven't acted on it. You already know the conversation you need to have, the habit you need to quit, the project you need to start, the person you need to stop chasing. And that leads to the real challenge behind this whole philosophical clash. Is wisdom what you know, or what you actually live? Kant reminds us to question our actions through reason and principles. Wang Yangming reminds us that knowledge means very little if it never reaches your behavior. And maybe you need both. Think clearly, know your principles, but then actually live them. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares how much philosophy you can explain if your own life never reflects it.